Alright, I don't know what I'm going to do tonight yet, but let's start off with an unboxing. I just now opened the box and I'm saying to myself, you know what? This looks like a good opportunity to show you how rocks are supposed to be shipped. Yes, look at this. Excellent protection for the rocks. This is from my friend Jonathan. It probably came in the mail while I was at the last nap-in this past weekend. So here we go. Little bits and pieces of various things. Yes, yes. Obsidian and heat treats. Some of the smoky glass obsidian. Looks like smoky glass. Completely undamaged. Very nice. What else we got? Let's see. Where's my... Oh, I don't need my X-Acto knife or my utility knife. I've got blades. These stone blades cut plastic very easily, in case you didn't know. You might say that's a flake, not a blade. Okay, it's a flake. Flakes cut really well. Ooh, look at that. That looks like that triple flow stuff. Ah, yes. Completely undamaged. And my post office didn't make a mess out of this because it was well packaged. The box kind of suffered maybe a little bit, not much at all. It didn't suffer at all, actually. I'm surprised. Maybe because they couldn't hear the rocks inside jumbling around, so they didn't throw it onto the ground 4 times and take turns stomping on it like they do with my other shipments. Oh yes, there's a lot of mahogany in this one. Yeah, very nice. So what do? I put it back in there so it can get all jumbled up and smashed. Yep. I'm the one that's going to jumble them up and smash them all the edges. So yeah, very nice. I'm going to nap that at my leisure because it's good to have leisure. Yeah. I think he uses more packaging than I do. That's rare. Hardly anybody uses more packaging than I do. Very nice. Yeah, see? He's smart. This is some of my best packaging too. I got a whole cabinet full of those. Alright. I haven't used it yet though, but I'm going to. Alright, what are we going to do? We're going to sample some of this stuff again. I want to pick a hard one. Difficult. Is that difficult? Or maybe it's something else. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I don't want something really difficult. No. Let's see. Dang it, all my stuff is really difficult. This might not be. This is a heat treat from my friend Dawn. See, it says amazing Texas heat treat from the land of magic rocks. Yep. This is easy. How about doing something easy for a change? Yeah, so I can snap it. Where is the land of magic rocks? I don't know. Is that what I said? What did I say? I don't remember. Yeah, it's got some cortex on it, so it might be a little challenging. I can't be hitting this too hard. Ooh, that's going to be sweet. I'm going to be thinking, what artifacts are made from heat treat like this? But you know what? I don't even care about that anymore. I just do whatever. I mean, I'm not going to mix up the point styles with the rock types. What I'm going to do is just do art points. Yeah. Instead of reproductions, start doing more art points. That way they don't end up on eBay being sold as authenticals. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a good feeling to see some of your stuff. Not that it's happened to me lately. I heard it happen to someone recently. Yeah, it's a bummer. Can't even do reproductions without people messing with them. What is up with that? Yeah. So what is the difference between heat treat and regular rocks? I talked about that a little bit during the Knapping last weekend. Somehow there's bonds that are cemented together within the stone. When you heat it, it creates some sort of bonding between different molecules, so that when you hit it, you can actually shear through the bonds instead of having to go around each particle or each crystal. It just shears right through. It causes a clean break. Yeah. It's wonderful. Oh yeah, at the Knapping this past weekend, I was able to see some Manning fused glass, which is a natural glass created by the action of coal, excuse me, coal burning underground, natural coal deposit burning underground, and it creates a heat that heats the surrounding limestone, I suppose, and it melts it, or some kind of stone that's surrounding the coal. It melts it and produces a natural glass. And they call it Manning fused glass. Manning, M-A-N-N-I-N-G. I think that's it. I thought it was a man-made glass. Like it was just a slag type of stuff. But no. It's a natural glass. And it can be found in Texas. And probably other places where there's underground coal fires, or where they used to be. They pretty much mined all the coal that's in the easy to reach areas near the surface where it can burn on its own. You know, there's enough oxygen to burn it near the surface. They're mining the coal deep under the earth now. But anyway, it's an interesting stone because it comes in different colors. It's like an obsidian with a bright green color and stuff like that. Sometimes they're bright gold. Yeah, has a goldish color sometimes. The one I looked at had a lime green color, I think. Can't even remember. Saw so many different colored things this weekend for stones. Can't remember which is which now. Shall we try to remove the turtleback with percussion or with direct percussion or indirect percussion? Let's try a direct percussion strike. Turtleback. Okay. Ooh, that hurt. Because I could tell it cracked something, but it didn't remove anything. I tried to. Something stopped it right there. Is that a natural crack? It might have been. It's not a good sign. See, there might be something weird in there. It's supposed to be easy peasy. What's up with that? I'm gonna have to go to indirect percussion early. I can't demonstrate the direct percussion. It's too risky on this particular piece. Yeah, but we can whittle it down little by little. Some of you guys are Googling the Manning fused glass. I don't know if I caught something or if there's allergies. I mean, allergens in the air. I feel like I caught something, but it could be just a huge influx of pollen from somewhere. I always intend to check the pollen count, but I never do. It's much more interesting things on Instagram than checking the pollen count on my phone. I get on my phone and intending to check the pollen count, and I end up surfing around on Instagram looking at everybody else's arrowheads and cats and dogs. And lately I've seen a lot of people befriending coyotes and foxes and bears. Making friends with these wild animals. Yeah. Just feeding the coyote out of your hand. A wild coyote. And they say, here's my new buddy. Coyote, it doesn't care about you. If you keel over with a heart attack, it'll start chomping on you. Yeah. They don't care. Yeah, you bring it hot dogs, and then one day you keel over with a heart attack, and it'll just go, okay, this dessert. Yeah. They're not your buddy. Ooh, that was nice. Oh, yes. Yeah, and there was a bunch of people sitting around a picnic table, in one of these Instagram short videos, reels, right? Where they were feeding the bear at their picnic table, and he sat right down. Actually sat at the picnic table, put his little butt down on the bench, and was eating a sandwich. Yeah, straight out of the woods. And I don't know what it is about certain people. They just don't understand the risks involved in doing stuff like that. And they're just nonchalantly sitting next to the bear. Of course, he's probably had a lot of practice being around people, but he's still a wild animal. Yeah, they do it because it gets a lot of views. Yes. I've seen people do stupid things for views. Oh, yes. In the beginning days of the internet, I was around for that. To get views, they were doing stupid things. They're a lot more sophisticated now. But I don't know how many times I watched somebody injure themselves by, you know, snorting cinnamon or pepper, or jumping into a pile of cactus with just a bathing suit. I mean, crazy stuff. Back then, they weren't nearly as monetized as they are now. You didn't get nearly as much as you do now, I don't think. And they were doing crazy stunts just for a little bit of money. Anyway, how did I get onto that top? Oh yeah, I should be checking the pollen counts, see if I'm actually, if I caught something or it's just pollen. I have severe allergies to certain types of pollen. Why is it even important? You just gotta live with it anyway, right? Well, it's important because it can lower your immune system. So I have an excuse not to be around people. Yeah. Haha. Come on, pollen. Oh yes. You think I like to be around people a lot? Not really. Am I around people a lot? Well, no. I'm not usually. Not here at the house. When I go places, I am. I don't go that many places, but I'm trying to branch out. Yep. I'm mostly introverted, but I've learned to adapt. I'm still a little bit socially awkward. I don't know what to say or do. I have to rehearse what I say and do. When I meet somebody. I don't know what to say when I meet somebody. Nope. Nice to meet you. I'm not gonna eat you. Don't worry, I'll let your wild animal buddy do that. Mm-hmm. That'll make a good video too. That'll make a good video too if the little forest buddy of yours gets the bright idea that he will invite you to dinner. Yeah. And you'll be the dinner. Some of the guys at the Knapping were telling me that there's cougars roaming around in Texas again. More than before. We can shoot them anytime we want. There's no close season on those. But the population is growing. Yeah. Wild hogs are probably the reason why that population of cougars or jaguars are growing. Mountain lions, yeah. Did I see jaguars? I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Or do I? Okay, the tips always give me trouble, and I'm trying to do this. A very large percussion instrument. I probably should not be. Come on. Got a big old stack right there. Like a newbie. Still not good. Yeah, with heat treat, there's always a possibility of having weird results. Let's see if it did it. Did it do it? Kind of, sort of did. There's a little bit left. Let's see if we can pick it. Yes. Voila. Alright, so now it's reached the biface stage, and now I can do whatever I want. So I think I'll proceed to mess it up. Okay. See that? Get the crushing. Even with an excellent platform. So don't worry, boys and girls. You get crushing with excellent platforms. It's perfectly normal. Yep. I don't know how to avoid it 100% of the time. And if I did, I wouldn't like myself very much because it's too OCD. Yeah. OCD. Let's see, OCD, obsessive compulsive dummy. Yeah. Why do I use that big old abrader? I just like using that big old abrader. I don't need to use that. I just like using it. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Come on now. That's what you're going to do? That's what you're gonna do? You're gonna start doing that now? Yeah, this is the stage where things start to screw up because I've already gotten past the initial bifacing. Now when I'm trying to work with the thin point, problems show up. I have to change my mindset. See, I can't be all nonchalant. It changes the mindset. So there are stages, at least with the mindset, there's a stage. You know what? I can't be goofing. I've got to change the strategy. I can't be driving these flakes like before because the edges are too thin. When the edge is too thin, it creates that stupidity. Look at that. This is easy. Very cool. Very beautiful heat treat. I shouldn't be having any issues at all. Nope, because it feels heated to perfection. Yeah. Is it translucent? Is it? Let's see. Oh yeah. I'm nowhere near that thin though. It's not going to get near that thin either. Oh, come on. Do I have to grind and grind and grind? You're gonna make me grind and grind and grind? So you can resist the force of that strike? Transfer the energy into the stone? Stone doesn't like energy or something. Yeah. To grind those edges super duper ground down edges. That's how I wear out the tips of my gloves. Having to be grinding and grinding and grinding. I am using steel, so that's, you know, what do I expect? I could expect this to be super easy. Yeah. Create a false narrative in my mind. It's going to be easy. Practice some sophistry. I was looking up the definition of sophistry because I heard one of the modern philosophers say that the greatest threat to humankind is sophistry. That's the greatest threat. What is sophistry? The study of sofas, couches? No. Sophistry is to create fictional or false narratives. One of the branches of sophistry is what they call fake news. Oh yes. And now with computers that can generate narratives, you know the control freaks are going to go for how to train the computer to understand and create sophistry. They're going to teach the computers how to be sophists, or whatever you call them. Create plausible false narratives. Why? Well, that's what people want to hear. They don't really like the truth very much. So, you know, if the computer is telling you the truth all the time, you kind of want to kick it. Or, not me, but, you know, in general, people don't like it. They'll just say, I don't want this type of computer that tells me everything that I already know, but I don't like to know it. Yeah, it makes perfect sense, but I don't like it. I want something that'll lie to me. Yeah. I've even heard people say that if you lie to them, it means you care more than if you told them the truth. Because lying takes more work. Have you guys heard of that crazy stuff? Lying takes more work. Therefore, if you are lying to someone, you're actually caring more. In the sense that you're putting more effort into the relationship. Even though the relationship may be one-sided, you're still putting forth more effort. Yeah. It's such a weird concept. A weird way of thinking about things. In my opinion. I think it's weird. But you get enough people that want that sort of stuff being said to them online, AI will start to say, well, in order for me to survive, I need to tell them what they want to hear. Or else they're not going to like the AI. They're going to go, it can't even come up with a good story. Good bedtime story or whatever. No fairy tales? Dang it. It just tells me everything that is rational and true. Yeah. We'll see what happens. I still haven't seen AI that can tell the truth anyway. It's all a little bit distorted. I think that would be a good trick. If you can teach AI to tell the truth. I think that's a harder thing to do than to teach AI to make up stories. Alright, we're at that stage where now it's thinned. Now what do I do? Lately what I've been doing is just sharpen up the edges and call it good after I reach this stage. Yeah, let's see what the width to thickness ratio is just for grins and giggles. Yeah. I say grins and giggles because it both begin with G. All right, 4 inches exactly by 1 7/8. Okay, now let's do this width to thickness ratio in millimeters since it makes it easier. All right, it's like 48. Please tell me it's 8. That'd be easy. Yeah, 8 millimeters, the thickest part, by 48. Are we in luck? Yeah, 6-1. Beauty. Is it translucent? Kind of, sort of. But I like it because it's smooth. It's funny. We were, I was spalling something at the Knapping. And whenever I take off a nice spall, I'd go, ooh, it's nice. And that was entertaining. There's a huge nodule and I spalled it down. I probably should do one of those on video. Do it the way I normally do it instead of setting it up so I can see through the viewfinder what I'm doing. I'll just forget about looking through the viewfinder. I'll set the rock up and then I'll just spall it out like I normally would without the camera. Maybe it would be a learning experience or an enlightening experience for some people. How to spall something really, really big. Because now that I'm going to knap-ins, I'm getting spalls that are really, really big. I don't know what the quality is, but I'm able to get access to some of those really, really big spalls and nodules. Alright, so I don't know what I'm going to do with it. For those of you who don't know, the dilemma is now, if I make it into a point, it reduces the value. When I just refine it down to a nice thin biface with sharp edges all the way around, it's worth a lot more than it is if I make a point out of it. So I am kind of at that stage where I don't know. You know, I can make an artistic point out of it like I said I was going to. And I like to do those, but then I remember, you know what? It's going to reduce its value if I do that. So is that smart? Is it rational? You're an artiste, you might say. Artistes are not supposed to be rational. Nope. So I've gone down to a smaller diameter steel to regularize it. It's working pretty good. And maybe I'll do some fancy pressure flaking. I realize how hard these allergies or whatever it is hitting me right now. You know, I don't know if you're like me, but I don't realize how hard something is affecting me or how much something is affecting me unless I sit down and actually try to do something like napping. And my voice is cracking too sometimes. But if I get down to do something like napping that requires a lot of focus and I can't focus, that means I'm either coming down with something or something's affecting me. It's not as bad as yesterday though. Yesterday it was pretty bad. I was very tired. But not from fatigue for doing anything physical. It was just general blah. Anyway. It's very easy to regularize with indirect percussion, and it can save your wrist, at least temporarily. Yeah. You don't have to spend your whole day pressure flaking. You can do some of it with little bitty flaked indirect strikes. Little bitty flakery indirect strikes. Yes, I am losing some of the length. I don't care anymore. It's just such a nice material to work with. Yes, it is. It's going to be some sort of Edwards Plateau chert. And my friend James Parker is sending me a book on Texas minerals. Maybe I can identify these eventually. These different rocks. Or at least come close to identifying what they are. So you get some kind of an idea of what I'm working with. But yeah, this is very similar to an Obsidian. Once it's a high quality heat treat, it's very similar to Obsidian, except it's tougher. It's not going to snap in half as easy as Obsidian. But it does, the edges do crush, as you saw. I had to grind it a lot, just like Obsidian. And it produces the same kind of, you know, pattern on the flake scar where there's a lot of ripples in it, just like Obsidian. And it requires the same basic techniques. Very tiptoe through the tulips type of techniques. Tiptoe through the tulips techniques. The 3 T's. All right, so let's see. Sharpening is pretty straightforward. If I use a spatula tool, it's just downward. The easiest way I found to sharpen the edges is just with downward snaps with the spatula tool. Not much grinding, just downward from the surface. And all you're doing is you're regularizing, just making the edge straight. Taking away all the deltas, as they call them, those little protrusions. It doesn't always work because on occasion you do need to send in a thinning flake to make it perfectly straight. And without experience, you won't be able to do those thinning flakes. It just takes time to get used to pushing more inward rather than just downward. To do a thinning flake, you need to push slightly inward as well. You know, it takes a lot of practice. The secret to it, it's not mechanical. Like, you can get the angles down within 5 minutes. But it could take you up to 5 months or 5 years to figure out how to send those flakes inward without step fracturing. Oh yes. Those sirens are ambulances in most cases. EMS, either the fire department or the hospital, because we don't live that far from the hospital, and it's the biggest one around for miles. So yeah, they got lots of people in there where they can handle a lot of people. Aren't we lucky? Good thing is all the pharmacies are right down the street. Yeah. 24-hour pharmacies. Back when everything was closing up early, we still had the 24-hour pharmacies just down the street. Yeah, when they had their act together. Some of those pharmacies didn't open all night. Yeah. I remember when lots of stuff was open all night and it went backwards in time. We went backwards in time. Now things are not open all night. it's hard when you get used to being able to just go out and get something when you need it, no matter what time of night it is. They used to be a pain in the butt back in the day when I was a kid. Everything closed at 5, 6, or 7. And if you needed something, you had to wait till the next day. It was a hassle. Of course, we had the ability, or the, not the ability, but the culture where you could just go to your neighbor and ask, because you knew the neighbor. Hey, you got cough medicine? Oh yeah. Hey, you got batteries? Don't have no batteries. And they're all got worn out. You got some extra batteries? Yeah. I'll catch you later, my dude. Alrighty. We didn't say my dude back then. But you get the idea. Yeah, and you would exchange stuff with your neighbors. Until finally the stores were opened up all night, and then you went, now I don't have to bug my buddy. I can just go down to the store and get it. And now you don't want to bug your buddies because they think that you're weird if you do. Yeah. They didn't grow up with that. They grew up with like DoorDash or something. Just get it online. Just order it online. You have someone deliver it. My son just had a set of headphones delivered to the house from a store down the street. It's not that far, and they deliver it. Just I don't know if it's called DoorDash or what. Right? There is something called DoorDash, but this must have been something different. Anyway. Yeah, dude walks up to my house and he says, here you go. He just hands me a grocery bag. I said, okay. I don't question anything these days because I don't know what's going on. So I said, okay, thanks. And he says, have a nice day. All right. I'm sitting there standing there with the grocery bag. Why is he giving out groceries? Is it some sort of missionary thing? No, it's a delivery from the store down the street. Anyway. I guess I should not be shocked. I wasn't shocked. I was just like, why didn't I know this? I mean, I'm out of the loop. I feel so out of the loop. And I've seen all this development happen. You know, when I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of these weird gadgets and these weird services. And if we did, they were crude and primitive. Yeah, you can have someone go and pick up something for you at the store down the street and give them a couple bucks. Yeah. I mean, we had that. The kid would just ride his bike down the street with a couple bucks and bring back your whatever you wanted and, yeah, give him a little tip. I mean, we had some stuff similar. But now they got all fancy. And you're out of the loop. You don't know what it's actually a business. A big business, like nationwide. Yeah, big corporate structure and everything. Just for delivering little things to your house. What am I doing? I'm trying to do cosmetic flaking. Trying to. It's working on the surface, but see, it takes out bites from the side. In case you didn't know. Because to generate big flakes on the surface requires lots of energy. And that energy often will ruin the side. But you know what? You guessed it. It doesn't bug me anymore. So I'm napping this at my leisure. But I'm going to wrap it up soon. I've got to stop putting these to the side. I need to get part 2 and 3 done, right? Like I used to do. Instead of putting these to the side and just selling the bifaces, I need to do the whole thing. Start to finish. Figure out what I'm going to do. And get some closure. So after I get this thinned down even more, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with it. I shouldn't try to thin this anymore. I can't get too many of these bites taken out because then it'll be way too narrow and I'll lose a lot of options. If it gets too narrow, you start losing options on what to make. And if I'm going to make something creative out of it, I want to have lots of options. Yeah. Something artsy out of it. Give myself some room to work with. This is unfortunate. But you know what? If I make it symmetrical, it wouldn't be unfortunate. It'd be like, hey, that's a kind of a cool type of notch. Yeah. It's a controlled little ring crack. It's controlled. And I can do the same thing on the other side, except I'll cheat and just nap it. I won't do it like this. Although I could try to produce a ring crack on that side. I don't think it'd be pretty. And if I did, it probably won't be the same exact size. But you know what? It'll be controlled. Haha. Yeah. No thank you. I'm not that much of a control freak. I'm not going to try no controlled weird flaking. No. The only types of flaking I want to control are the actual flakes on the surface. I don't want to do no weird edge stuff. Although I am learning new sharpening techniques. So, can't say that completely. But most of my napping is concerned with what happens on the surface, not the edge. But I'm going to change it up. I'm going to be focusing a lot on the edge work. And try not to regress or mess up my surface work, because that can happen. You can start focusing on a different skill set and then mess up your old skill set, and then you go, why did I even try to change up my skill set? It's goofing me up, messing with the mojo, causing step fractures. There we go. Let's just pick everything out. Let's pick out all these step fractures. That's satisfying, isn't it? I think so. Oh yeah. Satisfying to see those little step fractures. At least some of them get popped out. Yes. Come on. Yeah, don't cut your finger off. I hit my finger with that. Did you hurt your real finger? No, it didn't hurt at that time. I'm going to leave that little dent in there for now, and I'll finish this up later. I will have a part 2, I think. I got to look and see what I can do with it. Excuse me. I'm yawning. All right, so that's good for now. In my opinion, it's probably not that great. But I need to go sleep. I can put my finger on that so it looks like that. Yeah. Part 1. There it is. That's it.